then I'll go to the McNemar test. So McNemar test is very much similar to the pair t-test. The only difference is, in pair t-test, you compare the two continuous variable across two different time points. In the McNemar, you compare the proportion. So there is a difference in the nature of the variable, because McNemar is also a pre-post study. Pair t-test is also a pre-post study. So in McNemar, what we do the comparison of pre-proportion, and then there is an intervention, and then comparison of post-proportion. But if you see the research question, the research question would be like, if I want to know whether there is any change in proportion in paired observation, I think, yes. So we'll see in the example, like you want to see the proportion of students. You have applied some, like we do in the many training sessions also. We see the knowledge level. So we say that we have drawn some cutoff that up to 50%, we will have this as a pass. So you have, before intervention, you have 30% of the individual who have passed, and like I conducted maybe take the example of this session only. I would have given you some pre-test question before I have conducted this workshop, and then I would set the passing percentage as 50%, right? So I would have taken out the number of the proportion of people who have passed before attending this workshop, and then I would have given the same question to you after this workshop. So you would have attended the same question. So then I will calculate the passing percentages after you have attended this workshop. So if I compare the proportion of passing people before this workshop and after this workshop, then I would have used the McNemar test to compare the difference of proportion, whether this difference is significant or not. So basically, it is again usually applied in a pre-post study. You are doing something, and the pre-post study, the outcome should be in terms of a categorical variable proportion. It should not be in the term of the continuous variable. Had it been in continuous, like if I want to compare the mean marks of the people who have attended this workshop, before the start of this workshop and after this workshop, then I would have used the pair t-test. So do you understand? Am I making sense to you regarding the nature of the variable and the type of test which we use in case of a pair t-test and in case of a McNemar test? So Ashish is writing yes. So any other yes from any other participant, then I'll be sure that you have understood this concept. Pawan is also writing yes. Okay. Thank you. So now we can go ahead. Praveen is also yes. Okay. So thank you so much. So McNemar test, it is a non-parametric test for a paired nominal data or a categorical data. And we measure the change in the proportion of the paired data. But again, the McNemar test uses the chi-square statistics. That's why it is also known as the McNemar chi-square test. And we use the same command of 2x2 table for this McNemar test, which we have used for the chi-square test and for the calculation of risk. So today also we will use this 2x2 table for the calculation. Means there's a way to do that also, but again we'll go with the non-parametric way. So then coming to the other properties of McNemar. McNemar, it is similar to pair t-test, but it is for the proportion. Like if we take a random sample of 100 individual, 50 were smokers and 50 were non-smokers. And after intervention, if I want to see the change in their status, then I will use this McNemar test. The second example could be the same set of participants, like we did for the pair t-test. The same set of participants were exposed to the two different conditions, like a feeling of safety after wearing helmet and without helmet. And if we inquire whether they felt safe or not, then this is the same set of participants who have undergone under two different conditions. And if you take the value of proportion of both these conditions, then I'll apply McNemar test. So it is just do the analogy between the paired t-test and the McNemar. Remember, we did in the paired also that the same individual, if you test that in same set of individual for two different conditions on the same outcome, that will also form a paired data. Here also, the same group of people, if you are asking for the feeling of safety after wearing helmet or without helmet, then you could take these two proportion and apply McNemar test, because this is again a paired data. The same set of individual under two different conditions. It is not the two different set of people like we do in the independent sample t-test. So I hope you are getting the difference of that concept which we repeatedly talked, that independence of observation. So if there are different set of people in the two group, we call that the independence of observation is maintained. If there are same set of people for all the 4 point of time, at two different time point, then we say that the independence of observation is not met. But we don't want independence of observation here, because it is the same set of individual who has been tested at two different time point or for two different conditions. Am I making sense to all of you? Is everyone on the same page and like I am explaining? Okay, so Priyanka is answering yes. So I'll take your yes as everybody's yes, and I'll move forward. So basically it has got three assumptions. So there should be one dichotomous dependent variable, like we have seen passing exam, yes or no, or anemia, yes or no. So any dichotomous variable which has got two outcome variable, and the independent variable is a matched pair. So independent variable is basically a matched pair or two different time point or two different conditions. So it is a matched pair, and it should be a random sample. So coming to the study design, if we see the study design, it is a pre-post study where we have discussed regarding the before intervention and after intervention. The second could be, I think, a difference between the two conditions. That font, I think it has gone inside that box. Maybe I should have moved it up. So let me. So it is different conditions, right? So in the different conditions, but again, we talked that there should be a washout period. So washout period should be there if you use the different condition. Then coming to the null and alternate hypothesis. So null hypothesis of this McNemar test is that the difference between proportion is 0 after intervention. That means even after the intervention, there was no difference in the proportion. And the alternate hypothesis or the research hypothesis is the difference in proportion which is not equal to 0 after intervention. So this is a question which has been given to me, that I have to compare the proportion of pre-intervention anemia status versus post-intervention anemia status. Can you recall what was the question for paired t-test? Can anyone write in the chat box? Praveen?
Yes, ma'am. It was hemoglobin level before and after.
Yes. So the same question. It was the same question, but just it was the hemoglobin level. So if you compare the continuous variable, mean hemoglobin before and after intervention, then we applied paired t-test. But here, it's not the hemoglobin, rather it's the proportion. So if it is a proportion before and after, you will apply the McNemar. So remember the paired t-test, the assumptions, obviously all those assumptions still holds true here also, and type of study design is also similar in case of a McNemar and in case of a paired t-test. So if you know this, then we will go to the data sheet. And can you recall what command we used for the Wilcoxon? So because what was the, because McNemar is what? McNemar is a non-parametric. Like chi-square was non-parametric, and it is a chi-McNemar chi-square. So McNemar is a non-parametric test. So what we used, the non-parametric analog of paired t-test was what? Wilcoxon. And how we applied this command of Wilcoxon? You have to go to the analyze. Remember non-parametric, and we clicked on this related samples. So this is also related sample. I left this as it is, and then I've gone to the field and I would enter here what? There I entered hemoglobin baseline and post, but here I have to compare the proportion. So I will enter this anemia baseline and anemia post here. Are you getting the commands? I have entered the categorical data here. See, this flower shows that it is a categorical data. After checking normality. Yes, but normality we will not check here because in chi-square also we did not check for, yes, in Wilcoxon definitely we check for the normality. But since this McNemar is a non-parametric test, so there is no need to check for the normal distribution of the data. Okay. So then we'll go with the setting. In the second setting, I'll click this customize tests. And you can say these are the tests for the in the binary data. And then click this McNemar, and then press this run. So then it will take some time. And this is again, the interface is same like Mann Whitney U and Wilcoxon signed rank test. So what should I do now? In one go, you can say that, yes, there was a difference. There was a difference, and the proportion of anemia, it decreased after the intervention. But how to see that? How to see that? What should I do? Anyone? If I want to see this.
Double click.
Yes, so I'll double click this, and then it will lead to a model viewer. So in model viewer, just see this for a few minutes. This is again more or less same which you have seen in the Wilcoxon. Here also you will see that because it's a chi-square, so the difference will be in the form of observed and hypothesized. These two table, these two, remember, these two will tell you, if you see this 2 by 2 table carefully, this first row, this tells you about the pre-intervention, pre-counseling anemia status. So the row tells you about the pre-counseling, right? You can see here, this pre-counseling is still here. So please focus that row, because this 2 by 2 table is a little confusing. Why it is confusing? Because it is the same parameter, absent and present, on both the vertical and horizontal column. So remember that the column represents the post intervention and the rows represents the pre-intervention. Did you get what I'm talking? What do I mean by this? That this row tells you about, like, if this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D, then A plus B tells you the anemia status, absent anemia status before intervention, and C plus D tells you that anemia was present before intervention. Is it clear to all of you? Now coming to the column. This column tells you the absent anemia status after intervention, and the second column tells you the present anemia status after intervention. So rows tells you before intervention, column tells you after intervention. Is it clear to everyone? Then I'll go ahead with other interpretation. Please say yes or no, or if you want this to be repeated. So Aliza is writing yes. Any other person? Yes. Okay, so I'll take yes for everyone. Now, if I go with this. So if you see this, the first box is the number of individual who were absent before intervention, means anemia was absent before intervention, and after intervention also it was absent. So this we call as a concordant pair. There was no change. Coming to this, here also anemia was present before intervention, and if you see the column, anemia was present after intervention. So this is again a concordant pair. So concordant pair has got no meaning for McNemar test because I want to see whether there is a change in the proportion of anemia. That's why these two are, I mean, you will not see any analysis in those two tables. And we are interested in discordant pair. Now, what is this discordant pair? If you see this, anemia was absent before intervention, but after intervention, they developed anemia. So this is this box. And if you see this box, if you say this as C, like if I have assigned it A, B, C, and D, then this C is what? This C is proportion of people like who were anemia was present, but after intervention, anemia was absent. So I want my this C column quadrant to be more in number if my intervention is good. It depends on whether you want a positive outcome or a negative outcome. For anemia, I want reduction in anemia, right? So I want this to be more in number. Am I making sense to all of you? Or should I repeat this once again? This is important to understand. That's why otherwise you will not be able to write the interpretation. So I am interested in the discordant pair. This B tells you about the people. So Aliza is writing repeat. Okay, I will repeat. So are you guys clear on this concept that why this is a concordant pair, this A and this D? Did you get this? That this is the people. The row is for the pre-intervention, column is for the post-intervention. So this first box tells the proportion of people who were non-anemic before and non-anemic after. This D tells you the proportion of people who were anemic before and who were anemic after also. So this is not going to make any difference. So that's why I'm interested in this discordant pair. If you see this discordant pair, then this is the box B where there was, this is a, if you see the row, pre-counseling anemia was absent in this box, but after counseling there was anemia, right? Whereas if you see this box, anemia was present before intervention because this is the row, but after intervention, this is the column, anemia was absent. So I want my this box to be more in number. So that's why if you see this, the blue one is the observed, and here you will see the blue one is the observed. So this you have to make 2 by 2 table with this observed one. We have read it in the chi-square that we report 2 by 2 table with the observed frequency. So how you are going to make 2 by 2 table? You write 12 here because hypothesized you don't have to write. So it is the 12 people who were anemic before, and then who were it is the 12 people who were where the anemia was absent, and then later it has changed into a 39. So 39 people are now non-anemic. So which is a positive outcome of my this thing. So this hypothesized is the says that both are equal, right? So because total of 51 cases change their status. So it is the total 51. If you total this 39 and 12, it is the 51 people. So null hypothesis says that both are equal. Same set of people have interchanged their status. So that's why hypothesize is 25 and 25. But actually it is 12 which has gone to 39. So that's the way we interpret this. And it is a significant proportion. So I have to report this test statistics, which is the McNemar statistics with 1 degree of freedom and p-value. So now how will I enter this result? So that's why I can say that the treatment was effective. The counseling which I have given, that was effective. This, yes. So can you see now? This was the question. So if you see the 2 by 2 table, so I have written the same thing, 123 and 19 here. Can you see the observed frequency? But here I have written the observed was 12 and the observed here was 39. So I've written 39 and then chi-square value I have written as 13.2 with 1 degree of freedom and p-value 0.005. So now you have to now, in this case, you have to calculate the percentages. It doesn't give you the percentages. So can anyone read this result? Priyanka, maybe you can read this. Let me maximize this.
193 participants were recruited to take part in an intervention designed to decrease the anemia. On recruitment, 39 plus 19 is 58, almost 30% participants were anemic. In the nutritional counseling, the number of anemic participants reduced to 12 plus 19 is 31, that is 16%. A McNemar test determined that the difference in the proportion of anemic pre and post counseling was statistically significant with degree of freedom 1 and chi-square value 13.25 and p-value is significant.
Okay, so now you can see we also call this McNemar as a test for, here the p-value is 0.00. So what should we write? Okay, so if you go to you can write less than 0.005. If you go to the table and if you double click this, actually it gives you the p-value. Just a sec, I just want to see the no. Actually, when you see this, you keep this cursor here, then it shows you the p-value, actual p-value, like we did with the other results. But here I don't know why it is not showing. The actual p-value, if I see this, I'm not, just a sec. Let me check this. Maybe I will check how to see the actual p-value in this case. I'm not able to do it right now. For the other tables, we were doing it. But for this model viewer, I don't know why it is not coming. So let me check once you go in the breakout room, I'll test this and I'll get back to you. Right. So where were I was telling you about the test of marginal proportion. Yes. So you can see here that we are doing the marginal. What do I mean by marginal proportion? That you are only testing the marginal one. This 39 plus 19, this is a margin. And this 19 plus 12 is also a margin. So this McNemar test is also called as a test of marginal proportion because you are testing this 39 plus 19. Initially it was, and then it went to 19 plus 12. So this was the present before intervention and 19 plus 12 was present after intervention. So that's why it is showing you the actual change in the marginal proportion. So did you get about this McNemar, all of you? Understood the concept, or do you want me to repeat any concepts or anything? Pawan is writing yes. Just remember the one thing that, rows are for the pre-intervention and columns are for the post-intervention. Then it will be easy for you to understand. And that other thing, the actual p-value, that I'll check this once you go for the breakout room, and then I'll tell you once you're back. Okay.